Today, I just want to discuss some issues that I've been having with Fortnite recently and just making my videos, stuff like that. I don't have a script for this video, as you can see. I'm literally full screen on my YouTube page, which, you know, there are some reasons why, and that we'll get into that later in the video. But for now, I just want to make kind of a serious video discussing my mentality, I guess you could say, with Fortnite, my channel, or not really my channel, but my content, and kind of just the future. Obviously, before I get into anything, this is not me quitting Fortnite, quitting YouTube, anything like that. Don't worry, I'm fine. But today, I just want to make a scriptless, just serious video, kind of discussing how I've been feeling recently, not only with my videos, but Fortnite in general, ever since around Chapter 4's launch, basically, and just kind of how I've been feeling, man, because I've got a lot to talk about. I'm probably going to split this up into sections. I'll try and split them up between timestamps. Like, I know they have that feature where you can split the video piece by piece and kind of go between parts. So, like, the intro, one topic, the other topic, whatever. I'll try and set that up, but I've tried setting it up in the past, especially with some of my videos on the second channel, but I could never really get it to work, so I don't know if you need a specific amount of subscribers to have that feature or what, but if I can't have that work, there will be timestamps in the description for each topic that I talk about in the video, so if you guys want to skip to a specific point, you can just go in the description or even the pinned comment and choose what part you want to listen to first. But with that said, let's just discuss my mindset on Fortnite, the future of my channel, my content, and whatever else I've been thinking about recently. So yeah, with that said, let's get right into this. First off, I think it's only right that I discuss the best part of the video, in the sense that it's the part I kind of want to discuss the most, and that is my videos. Obviously, it's the main part of this channel is my videos, so it only makes sense to discuss it first. And I think the reason why I want to discuss this first is because, I'll be honest, I have not been enjoying my videos recently, or making them, I should say. Why? It's a combination of a few things, but I think the main thing is just the fact that I'm not able to make my videos the way that I want to make them anymore. What do I mean by that? Well, ever since Chapter 2 Season 7, or the Invasion Season, Epic made changes to Team Rumble, which, if you guys don't know, which, as you can see from like a lot of my Chapter 1 videos, especially late Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 especially, I think Chapter 2 was like the main like bread and butter for the Team Rumble era of my channel. But as you can see just from like the views, like Burnout gameplay 12,000 views, Redline gameplay 1.5k, like almost every video back then in Chapter 2 Season 1 was getting thousands of views. Like this little skin pack here, 9.6k, 19k, 18k. Like, my channel was going insane in Chapter 2 Season 1. Like, what a great start to our first new chapter. Honestly, I would argue Chapter 2 Season 1 might have even been my best season in terms of views and like the overall success of the channel. But the point being is that I used to play Team Rumble for my videos, as you guys probably know if you've been around for a couple of years, or even since the start of Chapter 3, because in Season 1 I was still playing Team Rumble as my main mode back then. Point being, I used to play Team Rumble for my videos. Why do I not do that anymore? Because in Chapter 2 Season 7, Epic ruined the mode. What do I mean by that? Well, they made some weird changes to the mode that single-handedly ruined it altogether for me. And probably for a lot of other people, because only a couple of thousand people play that mode anymore, I'm pretty sure. So you could say it's borderline dead. I'm surprised it's not gotten the imposters treatment and has just been deleted from the game at this point. And honestly, I would not be surprised if that happens in just a random Fortnite update at some point. Either way, they made some weird changes to the mode. First off, the most annoying part is that they made the zone not only insanely small when it first spawns, but they also made it so that it almost instantaneously moves the second the bus launches. Which means not only can you not land on 90% of the map in Team Rumble, but it also means that, you know, you pretty much have to land in the zone, otherwise you're just going to die to zone, and then you're going to have to respawn in the zone with like no shields or anything like that, and it's just a whole can of worms that I could get into. Either way, that isn't the only thing they did. They also made it so that you can't see how many players are on each team. I could not tell you why they made that change. I don't see any positive to that whatsoever. Like, was that supposed to make people not want to leave the game after doing their challenges or something, since that's something people do in Team Rumble? Like, was not seeing how many players were in the game supposed to make us feel better about being in the game or something? I do not know why they made that change. But they also just made a bunch of other weird changes that I was not a fan of. Like, I think the best era of Team Rumble for me was probably Chapter 2 Season 2, where they made a bunch of changes to the mode. They removed skill-based matchmaking from Team Rumble. They made it so that you could only get like green or blue weapons or above. So like grey weapons and green weapons, you couldn't get them. So you was pretty much only getting good loot in Team Rumble. And they also made it so that glider redeploy was a permanent thing instead of a 50-use item, which is still in the mode, but that's pretty much it, basically. I think they reverted pretty much every other change that I listed there, and there's still a bunch of other ones as well. But either way, it's like they made so many good changes at the start of Chapter 2 in Team Rumble, and then towards the end of Chapter 2, they pretty much ruined the mode. Don't know why, don't know what their reasoning was, they never even discussed why they made changes to the mode, and at this point it's been chapters, so I doubt we'll ever know. And at this point, it's been so long since Team Rumble has even been touched to the point where I think they know they've ruined the mode, so they've just given up on it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they remove it in the next couple of updates. Either way, it seems like Team Rumble is over, at least in terms of it being a genuinely good mode, which means for me, I had to swap to a different mode, which in this case was zero build since the start of Chapter 3. It was, I'm pretty sure, in Season 2 that we got zero build, and then from there it just kind of became my main mode for my videos, and, you know, for so long I played Team Rumble, so it was a hard thing to get used to, but once I got used to it, as you guys can see in a minute, like, I made a lot of videos in Chapter 3 Season 2, and I would argue it's probably one of my favourite seasons from a content perspective. I just remember having so much fun making my videos this season. But ever since around Chapter 4, even zero build started to become really hard to play for me, because the Chapter 4 map, just the way it was designed with all the like jagged cliffs and just the way the terrain is on the Chapter 4 map, not a fan of it for zero build. Some people were saying the map was specifically designed for zero build because of that, but I personally don't see it. In fact, I think it makes Team Rumble, well, not Team Rumble, zero build, sorry. I think it makes zero build 10 times less enjoyable than it was in Chapter 3, with all those jagged cliffs and just annoying things that you have to try and avoid, especially if you're in like a final zone and the zone pulls over some massive cliff like that one that used to be outside the Citadel. God forbid the game ended there in zero build and you were the one on the bottom having to go to zone, because if that was the case, you better just pray to God you hit your shots and you hit like 5 headshots in a row, otherwise you are just dead. It's just not a good map or chapter for zero build in my opinion, and I think the only people that are really enjoying it right now are the really, really big casuals that just don't like building. And it's understandable, but as you can tell from around Chapter 4 Season 2, I started to move into builds for my videos. And then I've kind of been switching back and forth between builds and zero build. And I don't know, it's just, you can tell I've kind of been really confused as to what mode I want to play for my videos. And it all started because of the fact that Epic ruined Team Rumble all those years ago. So to get to the point, it's been hard for me to make videos because it's like, I miss when I could just play Team Rumble for my videos. My favourite era of my channel was probably Chapter 1 and early Chapter 2 Team Rumble, where I could just get on, choose the skin I wanted to showcase, play for as long as I wanted to get the best recording I could, edit it, boom. That was the video. That was the whole video. That was my day done. I could just relax, do whatever I wanted to do for the rest of the day until my next upload. And back then I didn't even edit my video, so I didn't even have to do the editing. I didn't even have to wait for the video to render for over an hour. I didn't have to do any of that. I could just sit back, upload the video, and then have fun for the rest of the day doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. But I can't do that anymore because, you know, whether I play zero build or builds, I'm still playing solos, and I've never been a big fan of solos. At least not for a long, long time. I think the last time I genuinely, consistently played solos and enjoyed it was probably mid-chapter 1. And it's been hard because it's like, if I play builds, I could spend hours just sweating, dying over and over, over, trying to get a video. And then if I play zero build, I don't enjoy playing zero build because I do not like chapter 4 for zero build. So it's like, sometimes I spend hours getting it done in that mode as well. Maybe sometimes I'll get lucky and do it first try. Sometimes I'll spend hours trying to record a video. Point being, it's still solos and I am not enjoying solos for my videos. So it's hard. I'm not really sure what to do for that. Like, I might make a poll in the future discussing whether or not you guys would want to see me go back to Team Rumble for my videos, even despite the issues that the mode has, just so I could kind of enjoy my videos again and enjoy making them, because it's like, I'd rather have to deal with the few issues that Team Rumble has at the cost of enjoying recording my videos more, than spend hours almost every single time I have to record 3 days a week, just raging trying to get my videos done. And even then, it's like I feel bad when I have to camp in a bush if I'm playing zero build for a few minutes. I feel like the video's just super boring whenever I do that, even though that's basically the zero build meta, especially in the end games where you have to hide in bushes. It's like, I feel pressured into being aggressive if I play zero build. And in builds, I feel like people die way too fast, so the game's super slow. It's like, solos just has way too many issues for my style of content and the kind of player that I am. And it's like, Team Rumble was just the perfect mode for me and my style of content and the way I do my videos, especially as a no commentary channel. It's like, just being able to hop on, choose the skin I wanted to record, play a few games, get the win, get as many kills as I could, not knowing that I didn't have to get the win or I didn't have to feel under pressure because I just respawn. It's like, Team Rumble was the perfect mode for my channel and my content style, and they took that away from me by changing the mode so much. But still, I feel like I would prefer playing Team Rumble over solos, at least with my current mindset and my current opinions on the game, which we'll get to in a minute. But I want to leave that down to you guys, so I'll probably make a poll in the future, both on my community tab and on Twitter, or X now, according to Mr. Elon. But yeah, I'll probably make a poll both on Twitter and on my community tab discussing whether or not you guys would be okay with me moving back to Team Rumble, or if you guys would maybe want to see that, even if it's just for a couple of videos, just to see what happens. Because it's like, even down to my videos being shorter in Team Rumble because the mode, you know, isn't the length of a full game. It's like, it allowed me to make my videos a lot more small and compact. It allowed me to get to the point a lot more, you know, especially now that I edit. It's like, I can cut out all the loading screens, just get to the point, have an action-packed Team Rumble game for like 10 to 15 minutes, and that's the whole video. That's your skin showcase. You can then decide if you want to buy the skin, and it was perfect. But it's hard, man. It's hard to discuss, but That's generally the main issue that I've been having recently, is that I have not been enjoying recording my videos because I had to move on from Team Rumble all those years ago. And throughout Chapter 3 it wasn't that bad, because Zero Build in Chapter 3 in my opinion was really good. But in Chapter 4, that's not the case, which is going to lead us into my next topic. So, number 2 is Chapter 4. What do I mean by Chapter 4? Well, Chapter 4 as a whole. I am not a fan of Chapter 4. It has been my least favourite chapter since the first few months of Season 1, and it's only gotten worse since. And not only because of the chapter itself, but so many things have happened in real life and with my mental state and all of that during this chapter, that's just made me look back on it even worse than I already would have, because I just haven't been enjoying the game itself. Chapter 4 is just not good, in my opinion. I hate to say it, I love Epic, I love Fortnite, but I hate to say it, I'm not enjoying Chapter 4. I get that's a controversial opinion, I get there are people that join this chapter that are loving it, I get there's people that probably been playing since Chapter 1 who love Chapter 4 the most, and that's fine. I'm happy for you that you're able to enjoy this chapter this much. But for me, I hate to say it, it's my least favourite chapter by far. Why? For a multitude of reasons that I'm going to get into right now. First off, the graphics. I am not a fan of the graphics. The thing that made Fortnite stand out to me was the graphics. The super unique graphics in Chapter 1, that like cartoony, flat coloured design of the game, it just, mwah, perfect. I loved the Chapter 1 graphics, especially the night times. You just had that beautiful sky with the stars and everything. It was amazing. And then in Chapter 2, they kind of went for a more realistic approach, but the graphics were still there. It still felt like Fortnite. And then those graphics carried on into Chapter 3. They didn't change them in Chapter 3, and if they did, it was so minor that I didn't even really notice. But Chapter 4 was the first major graphical upgrade we had since Chapter 2. And in my opinion, I'm not a fan of it. It just feels like almost an Unreal Engine 5 test more than an actual graphical upgrade. Not only because the graphics just look weird in my opinion, especially if you run low graphics like me. Like, for the first few chapters, low graphics didn't look that bad. But in Chapter 4, it just looks absolutely abysmal. And, like, even on max graphics, yeah, it looks beautiful, but it doesn't look like Fortnite, and that is my problem with it, is that even Chapter 2 and 3, they were realistic, but they still felt like Fortnite. Chapter 4 feels like any other Unreal Engine 5 game you would see out there with a tint of cartooniness to it. It doesn't feel like Fortnite, and I think that's my main problem with the graphics. Another thing that came with these graphics was the trees and the different props that they used for Chapter 4. Like, we're used, for the first few 3 chapters of the game, we were used to those really like bubbly trees, like the Fortnite iconic trees. You know how they were like really bubbly and like circular? They changed the trees in Chapter 4 to way more realistic ones. And normally, yeah, I don't like that, but that wasn't the problem. The problem with the trees and these new props are the hitboxes. Why the hell are the Chapter 4 hitboxes 5 years into the game? Not even 5 years, 6 years. We just had the 6-year anniversary event for the game. Not even 5 years, 6 years. Why are trees 6 years later worse hitbox wise than the trees that were in the game when it was early access? Explain that to me. Explain why I'm getting stuck on trees that I'm not even touching yet. Explain why, if I'm just in a build battle, I'm getting stuck on nothing. That has not been an issue since Chapter 1. And at least in Chapter 1 they had an excuse, because the game was in beta. It took them like 2 weeks to make the map, and I'm pretty sure they didn't change the trees or anything throughout the chapter. I'm pretty sure they kept the map the same in terms of the props and stuff. They had an excuse back then. Battle Royale was really rushed, so the fact that it even blew up like it did was insane. Even they admitted that. But why are the Chapter 4 trees worse? It makes no sense. It's like they forgot how to model tree hitboxes when adding new tree models to the game. It's mind-boggling to me. And I really hope that in Chapter 5, that is one of the main things that they fix. Because the amount of times I've died, because I've been unable to build above a tree, because I'm stuck below it on invisible leaves, basically, is astronomical. It's insane how often it happens. That is my main problem with the graphics, besides the graphics themselves, is the fact that these new hitboxes that came with the new props for Chapter 4 are just absolutely abysmal. And I'm surprised I have not seen more complaints for that. Another thing I just don't like about Chapter 4 is the loot pools. The loot pools and the metas of Chapter 4. Oh my god, what are these chapters? I do not know what to say about the loot pools this chapter. They're not unplayable by any means, but they just do not feel like Fortnite loot pools at all. Like, not only do we have this overabundance of first-person weapons now, to the point where it feels like I'm just playing a Fortnite-ified Call of Duty, but where's the fun in the loot pools, you know? Like, where are my boogie bombs, my porta forts, my gravitrons, my propifires, like my inflatables, like where are the fun, wacky Fortnite items that we know and love from the loot pools that make the game stand out from other super serious battle royales? Where are those items? It just feels like the loot pools now are focused on making just first person weapons and very, very basic weapons. So if they're not first person, they're like very basic or reskins of past weapons. Like the Mammoth Pistol was basically just a one-shot, more powerful version of the Deagle. The Explosive Repeater Rifle was just an explosive version of the Lever Rifle from Chapter 2, Season 5. And yeah, that was a little bit unique, but still, the Sharp 2 shotgun, literally just a worse version of the pump, but with better range. Not even the model changed. That's how lazy that weapon was. Just Chapter 4 Season 3 alone, I could go a whole video ranting about in terms of the loot pool, but you get my point. It just feels like there's no personality in the loot pools anymore, and it sucks, because the thing I loved most about Chapter 1 and 2 was the loot pools. Just so much fun. Like, in Chapter 1 you had so many items, I can't even list them all. Like, you had boogie bombs in the early days, and later on you had things like the Batman grapple gun, all those insane mythics like the Infinity Gauntlet, but even just down to like non-collaborations, even down just to the basic loot pools, you had insane stuff. Like Season X alone proved just how wacky and insane the loot pools could get, mechs aside, and it just feels like we don't get that anymore. Like even in Chapter 2, Season 7 alone, even though it was the season that ruined Team Rumble for me, that season did the loot pool perfectly, flawlessly. Gravitron, Propifire, Inflatable, UFOs. Just 4 things on the top of my head from that season that I still remember years later. Like 2 or 3 years later after the season launched. I still remember those items perfectly. In a year's time, I probably won't even remember every weapon that launched in the Wild season. Like, they just had no personality, no unique mechanics, nothing. It was just reskins of older weapons to fit that season's theme. I just missed the personality of the loot pools and how fun that made the loot pools. And it just sucks that with Chapter 4 we've kind of went this more serious route for the sake of just having more first-person metas in the game. It's just not fun, in my opinion. Like, even compared to Chapter 3, at least in Chapter 3 they kind of did something unique with first-person weapons, and at least, you know, that was the introduction chapter for them, so it was a little bit more unique. It felt more special and new. Like, my favourite first-person weapon that we've ever had is probably the Striker Burst Rifle. That thing was just so fun, especially as someone who loves the burst rifles in this game. They're some of my favourite ARs in the game, especially the original burst rifle from Chapter 1. So it's like, getting a first-person version of that was really fun, but then they just started doing more and more and more and more and more and more. You get the point. It's like the first-person weapons overstayed their welcome big time, to the point where now they're basically just the meta for the game. Like, it seems like because of zero, and I almost blame it on zero build. If I'm being honest, I feel like this wouldn't even be the case that much if we never had zero build. I think zero build is the reason the first person meta has taken over, and it kind of sucks because it's like, honestly, I would probably sacrifice zero build if it meant getting normal loot pools back. I know that's going to be a controversial opinion that probably gets this video into the dislike oblivion, but I would probably sacrifice zero build if it meant first person weapons became more of a rare special occurrence again, like it did in Chapter 3. I play Fortnite, graphics aside, like, we've already discussed that, but it's like, even down to the loot pools, I play Fortnite because it's so unique compared to other battle royales. I don't want to sit down and play Fortnite to play a cartoonified version of Call of Duty. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to play Fortnite. These insanely wacky items, these, like, the third person perspective. That's what makes Fortnite Fortnite. Building is what makes Fortnite Fortnite. I want that. I don't want first person weapons, super realistic graphics that half of Unreal Engine 5's games out there in the world probably look like. I want Fortnite to feel unique again. I want it to be separated from the rest of the crowd. I want it to feel special again. And Chapter 4 ruined that more than any other chapter in the past. And it just sucks, in my opinion. And that's basically why I've been having issues with the game recently. Not only do I not enjoy the loot pools, the graphics, the new hitboxes that came with the graphic upgrade, I also just have not been enjoying the format of my videos, because obviously I had to move on from Team Rumble. All of it just aligns and blends together to make this really big case of burnout for me, and I'm not really sure what to do about it. I don't want to take a break because it's like, I haven't missed an upload in my 3 upload a week schedule since the start of Chapter 3, and that's almost 2 years ago at this point. So I haven't missed an upload in almost 2 years, which is crazy to think about given how inconsistent my schedule was in Chapter 2, but still, if I need to take a break, I will, but I don't want to, because I want to enjoy the game, but it just feels like I can't do that with the way I'm currently recording my videos. So let me know if you would like to see me return to Team Rumble for a bit, just to like experiment and see if it eases my mind a little bit, puts less stress on me. It would also make my videos shorter, which I think would be a good thing for you guys, since I feel like it would make you want to stick around more, instead of having to watch like a 20-minute video just to, you know, get to the point and get to the win. I feel like my viewer retention really does like go down like minutes into the video before the gameplay even starts, really. So maybe Team Rumble would fix that, I'm not sure. Either way, let me know what you would want to see from me in the future. Would you want to see, I don't know, would you want to see me go back to Team Rumble maybe for a couple of weeks just to experiment with it? Would you maybe even like to see variety on the channel, on the main channel? Like, my second channel is usually my variety channel, but maybe I could try doing that on the main channel. Like, maybe I could play some of my other games that I really enjoy playing, like Team Fortress 2. I've been getting really into that again recently, and that was basically the game that got me into PC gaming, so it's pretty much the only reason I started my channel, basically. So, could make that on the channel. I could also record maybe some Nintendo games, like maybe I could make that series that I spoke about with Mario Wonder when that game comes out next month. I'm not sure. Let me know, because I'm experiencing some crazy Fortnite burnout right now, and maybe Team Rumble will fix that. I'm not too sure. Let me know if you would want to see that for a little bit, just to experiment and see if it would maybe help with my burnout, and maybe it would even be better for my videos. because I think it was a better mode for my videos than solos, but let me know what you think. Either way, this was a different kind of video that I wanted to make, mainly because I've just been thinking about all this stuff a lot recently, and I kind of just wanted to sit down and speak about it. You know, no script, no like planning and none of that. I just wanted to sit down, press record, and kind of just spew my thoughts. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this different kind of video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.